Hello everyone, it's Kari from sunshineinmypocket.com, and today I am going to share with you a quick project on coloring with embossing powder. I think this process is such an easy and fun process. I am using the Sugar Skull stamp that came in the Hedgehog Hollow September kit. This is such a beautiful stamp set. There are two different sugar skulls. I chose this one here to use, and all I'm doing is I'm taking a VersaMark marker and I'm coloring in the places that I want to put embossing powder. So I have chosen some of my favorite embossing powders here. These are mostly from Wow Embossing, and they are the glitter embossing powders. And I'm coloring in the spots with that marker and then adding the embossing powder. I usually take all the same color embossing powder at once, and then I heat set that color with my heat tool. I'm just cleaning up the surface here with my surface sweep. It's really helpful when you're working with this much embossing powder. So I did all the pink color first, and now I'm going to color in all the spots that I want to be purple. So this is really easy, and I think that sometimes this can be even easier than coloring with markers because you don't have as many colors to choose from, right? If choosing your colors is getting a little bit overwhelming, then try coloring with some embossing powders that you own and see how that works out for you. Here I'm going to add a little red to those swirls, and I am being very careful with this one. This VersaMarker has two different sides, a more of a brush tip and then more of a thin fine tip. So I use the fine tip on this portion here because they are such a small detail area. So you can see that I go color by color and I do all the same color at once, and then I heat set it, always cleaning off my surface in between with that surface sweep. I thought that the teeth would look great in gold. I think I was thinking of a pirate or something, but I think the gold looks really great on the teeth. I went ahead and add some greens and some blues in embossing powders, and now I'm going to color in the eyes, or kind of the recesses of the eyes, with a black gel pen. My hand gets in the way a little here, so I'm going to move on forward and show you what this looks like with both of those eyes colored in black. I think it really makes it pop. It adds a lot more depth to this. So I've just finished up coloring in with that gel pen. I'm loving the way this looks so far. I have already stamped a remember sentiment from the September kit also onto this banner. And now I'm going to cut out that skull using the die that also comes in the kit. It's wonderful to have this die included. I taped that on with some purple tape, and then I went ahead and ran it through my die cut machine. And on the left you can see a panel where I did some swatches. Here it is right here with some Gina K Glitz glitter gel. And I was going to go ahead and do that, but I thought it was a little bit busy and my Glitz glitter gel has dried out. Sometimes that happens in Arizona. I wasn't careful to seal that up all the way or put a piece of saran wrap over the top, and I wish I would have done that, but that's the way it goes in Arizona in this heat. So now, just to add a little more dimension, I'm going to use some neutral Copics to color in mainly around the edge of this sugar skull. I'm using N3, N1, and N0. I'll start on the outside with the darkest N3 and then blend that out with the N1, and then I go around all the insides with the N0, and that just adds a little bit more. I think this is starting to turn out really well. So this just took me a few minutes, and I'm just finishing up here on the coloring. And now to decide on a background. I went through quite a few iterations of a background for this card, and I finally ended up on a red background. I chose some red cardstock and I inked it up the edges with some darker red fired brick and also some black soot. And that's the card that I ended up with today. The embossing powder really shines and shimmers in the light. It looks great with that red to match the red embossing powder that we used here. And so it's such a fun technique to color with embossing powder. I hope I inspired you to give this a try. If you need more information, please don't forget to visit my blog or thehedgehoghollow.com with more on this kit. I'll be back real soon with more inspiration. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.